Hello students, welcome. This is Foundations of Literacy and your Distance Learning Academy. It is me, Mr. Ahrens, talking to you from wherever I am to wherever you are as we continue to become better readers and writers from afar. So today I asked you all to read the story blind or listen to the story blind on StudySync. If you have not listened to the story yet or listened to that assignment yet, please stop this video, go back to StudySync and listen to blind. All I want you to do is to listen to it and to try and understand it, but it is this text that I'm going to use to teach you this objective here. That is, readers cite textual evidence to support their thinking about what the main character is like. And so the big idea behind this is, as you are reading, it's very important to get to know your character because you become invested in them and you get to understand them. And when you do that, you care about them and you want to see what happens. And it helps you with your comprehension. It can also help you to enjoy the book more, which is why we read, to enjoy. So let's take a look at the text now, and I want to show you how I think about the character and use pieces of evidence from the text to help me learn a little bit more about the character than simply what the author is telling me. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, I've got my StudySync text open. This was a crazy story, wasn't it? Can you imagine just all of a sudden losing your eyesight from a freak accident, which is exactly what happened to this girl? And so as I was reading this, I was keeping an eye out for pieces of evidence that would tell me more about the character. And I found one in paragraph 5. Let me highlight it for you. This part where she is saying, she's talking to her counselor, and she says, "I'm not coping. I'm crazy. I've missed an entire half a year of school, and I'll never catch up. And if I have to be in a different grade from Logan and all of my friends for the rest of my life, I'm going to die, and I can never go back. How can I go back like this?" Now that piece of dialogue from the girl really said a lot to me about like who she is and what she's going through at this time. For myself, I think all of a sudden losing my eyesight would be a really big tragedy. And I see this girl talking not about losing her eyesight, but more about the fear of missing so much school that she's going to have to repeat a grade or be behind all of her friends, which strikes me as like a really innocent thing for a teenager to be concerned with. So this is a place for me to stop and to think about this character more and try to get an understanding of what she's like. And I'm going to make a note here to myself. I'm going to say this shows that she is mainly concerned with being home from school. She sounds okay. So as I was thinking, I said, well, this sounds like she's mainly concerned with just being home from school. I said she sounds nervous and anxious, and then that made me think of a question that I wonder how she will deal with these feelings. And that's a good annotation for me to take because it's helping me to understand this character a little bit more. All right, reading down a little bit, I found another place in paragraph 13 that I wanted to look at with you. And so this part of the story is where the girl is kind of talking to her mom. And where I want to stop here shows us more information about the mom, not the main character. So the girl is like asking her about this expensive laptop that the parents bought, and the mom is trying to say that, we got this for you because we wanted you to have it and we didn't care about the cost. But the girl is kind of upset about that. But I see the mom acting and saying something down here that gives me more information about her. So the mom is quiet when the girl asks her why she got it for her. And she says, the mom says that she's quiet because she wanted to get her answer right. And finally she said, please don't worry about it, Emma, okay? And so when I was stopped and I thought about that, I said, well, what does that tell me about the mother? And I was thinking, this shows me that the mom is not quite sure how to best help her daughter. Okay. So I said, well, this part shows me that the mom is just really not quite sure how to help her daughter at this point. But I was able to make a prediction. I think that if she keeps trying, that she'll eventually get it right. All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to pull more information out of the text. There's one more that I want to look at and I want you to think about. And it's in paragraph 24, where she's kind of throwing those eggs. And I thought this was not only like an interesting part of the story to read, but I also thought it was an interesting part to stop and think about the main character. So here, I'll read the whole paragraph to you. We went outside first, even though it was brutally cold. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, 5, end of porch. Here's the grass, the walkway, sidewalk, maple, crosswalk, traffic, oak tree. I listened hard for the engines, and then instead of sticking my cane into the street, I threw some eggs, hard at the sidewalk, at trees. I couldn't see into the crosswalk I hadn't realized I hated. Now, I want you to think about that. What does that line tell us about this girl? How she's feeling, what she's thinking. What does this tell us about her? Think about that for a second. Okay, what did you come up with? Here's what I said. This shows that she is I kind of got the sense that she was really surprised by her anger. And my mind started thinking, well, like, anger usually doesn't help you make the right good choices. So my prediction is that maybe her anger will get her into some trouble. Now, what I've done here in this passage is a few times I've stopped and just thought about, well, what does the text tell me about the character, and what does that mean about the character? If you're able to do this in your independent reading book, then you can get to know your character a little bit more, and you can become more I guess, just knowledgeable about who that person is. You'll become more invested about who that person is. So that's what I want to see you do today with your independent reading. It's time now for you to try this with your own book. I want you to read for about 25 minutes, and I want you to notice and note important parts of the story, parts where the characters, you can learn a little bit more about the characters. Try to apply today's strategy, and if you find a spot that tells you more about a character, put a sticky note down and jot some of your ideas. Then finally, complete the ticket to leave on Google Classroom when you've finished. It'll help me to see what you're thinking about as you're reading your book. Thank you, readers. I hope you have a great day, and I'll be back soon with another session. Enjoy your reading.